Okay, we're going to continue from question 9. Question 9, 3/7 of the songs in Riley's music library are rock songs. Of the rock songs, 7/9 feature a guitar solo. What fraction of the songs in Riley's music library are rock songs featuring a guitar solo? So we're going to first write the fractions. هنكتب الفراكشنز اللي أعطاها لي إياه. قال لي 3/7 معناها 3/7. هذا أول fraction أعطاها لي. Let's make it bigger. Okay, so you can see it. يبقى أول حاجة 3/7. تمام. Okay, that's the first thing. And then this is the rock songs in Riley's songs. Of the rock songs يعني من rock songs هذينا 7/9 feature a guitar solo. يعني 7/9 يعني 7/9 like the 7/9. تمام. يبقى 3/7 هذينا روك سونجز و7/9 من الروك سونجز هذينا شنو guitar solos. Okay, they need to know what are the guitar solos from the rock songs. What are the guitar solos from the rock songs? Okay, so what do? We're gonna multiply them by each other. We're gonna multiply them by each other. وكما قلنا لما ندير multiplying the fractions نقدر ندير simplifying. إذا كان عندي numerator و denominator نفس بعضن نقدر نحولهم مع بعضن ونحط مكانهم 1 وبعدين نضرب numerators و denominators. 3 times 1 is going to be 3 and 9 times 1 is going to be 9. So 3/9. 3/9. And 3/9 can be simplified. نقدر ندير dividing على 3. So I'm going to divide على 3/9. Sorry, let's do it like here. Divide 3 is going to be 1. هنا. We'll divide 3. So I'm going to divide both of them by 3, okay? Divide 3 is going to be 3. So the final answer will be 1/3. 1/3. يبقى ركزوا على طريقة كتابة الفراكشنز. First thing I did, I wrote the fractions. تمام. And after writing the fractions, ضروري شو ندير؟ did simplifying قبل شنو؟ قبل multiplying. So I simplified the ones which are the same numerators and denominators, and then I multiplied numerators and denominators, and then simplified the final fraction. Okay, that's it for question 9. Let's move on to question 10. In question 10, Imogen was doing her music practice for 1/4 of an hour. 1/4 اللي هي 1/4. ديما نكتب fractions وحدة وحدة، حتى وانا نقرا في السؤال نكتب الفراكشن عادي 1/4 of an hour. For 2/3 of that time معناها 2/3. 2/3 2/3. تمام. لما يقول لي off معناها طول نعرف ان هي multiplying. Okay. For 2/3 of that time she was practicing her scales. For what fraction of an hour did she practice her scale? إذا كان هي 1/4 of an hour and then 2/3 of that time معناها I'm going to multiply these by each other. That's the idea. Now here I notice that the 4 and the 2 are the same. لكن نضرب بعدين ندير simplifying أحسن. لما الطريقة هذه لو كان مش نفس النمبرز معناها نضرب and then multiply and then simplify. So I'm going to multiply numerators. هنضرب numerators الأول. 2 في الواحد هتطلع ب2. وبعدين 4 في 3 هتطلع 12 و 12. Okay. بعد ضربت تو ندير simplifying. عندي 2 فوق و 12 low. طبعا I'm going to divide by 2. I'm going to divide both of them by 2. This by 2 and this by 2. 2 divide 2 will equal what? It's going to be 1. And 12 divide 2 is going to be 6. Very good. It's going to be 6. So the answer or the final fraction is going to be 1/6. 1/6. Okay. So we have 1/6. Let's write it like this. Okay. Now, that's it for question 10. Focus on the question. كيف ما قلنا نكتب الفراكشن and then off معناها multiply and then we write the other fraction. After this, after writing the fractions, we're going to multiply them. لو كان multiplying لو كان نقدر ندير simplifying before multiplying, it's good. If I can't, I can do it after multiplying. It's not a problem here, okay? Now, let's see here. Okay, now let's move on to the next exercise, exercise 2 plus or 2 star, as they like to call. Now, with this exercise, same idea. هيكون عندي multiplying fractions, multiplying giving your answer as a fraction in the lowest terms or as mixed numbers where appropriate. Work out these. So if you find that the final answer is an improper fraction, you must make it as a mixed number. Okay, that's the idea of these questions. Now here, same idea. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then simplify. Here, make them improper, and then multiply numerators, multiply denominators, and then simplify. Same idea with all of these that has numbers in them, no problem. We're going to talk about 7 and 8, okay? We're going to talk about 7 and 8 because they are very important and most of us have problems with these. So here we have a squared divide b multiplied by b over a. هنلاحظوا شنو? We will notice that we have a b here and a b here, and we said if we have the same numerator and denominator before the equal sign and they are multiplied, we can simplify them by taking them out of the equation like this. So this one will leave 1, this one will leave 1, okay? Good. And then we have a squared, and this is a. A squared means what? It means a times a. So this one is a times a. This is the meaning of a squared. So it means I can remove one of the a's with the a down here. And as we said, نديروا هذه لما يجي عندي multiplying بس. Okay? So now we left what? We're left with 1a, which is in the numerator. A times 1 is going to be a. And here 1 times 1, حتانا 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And we don't write the 1 mostly, like this. It's going to be a divide 1. Now the final answer will be a. Okay? It's going to equal a. That's the idea for this question 7. Okay? Now, let's do 8. Same idea. هنبحث في النيومريتors والdenominators ونشتغل نفس الشغل. Okay? Here, I'll notice that we have b squared. b squared معناها b times b means b times b. Same idea here. I have b and b. So كل b تعدي فوق تعدي مع b لوطة. b فوق تعدي مع b لوطة. Okay? خلاص هذه حولت لأن عدرناها b times b. خلاص حولنا هذين كلنا حطينا مكانها 1. Okay? هذه كلها 1. Now let's talk about the A's. هنا كم عندي A؟ 3 A's. وهنا 1 2 3. Same idea. هذه حتقعد A times A. هذه حتقعد A times A. وهنا حيقعد 3 A's حتى هي A times A. Sorry. times A times A. Same idea. كل A تعدي مع ال A. هذه وحدة تعدي مع وحدة. وحدة تعدي مع وحدة. Each A goes with another A. المهم يقدر وحدة numerator وحدة denominator. A مع A. خلاص. They all left 1. So 1 times 1 equals what? Equals 1. So the final answer is 1. That's the idea of simplifying fractions or multiplying fractions and simplifying fractions. Okay? That's the idea for this question. تمام ركزوا عليها بس لأن these questions are important and they like to bring them the test. That's the idea for these questions. Let's move on to the next questions. Here we have 9. Lucas divides his pizza into 3 equal pieces for himself and his 2 friends. Okay. Okay. So 3 equal pieces for himself and his 2 friends. So we have 1 over 3 for each one of them. His friend Teddy eats 5/8 of his pizza or piece, for lunch, and a further 2 over 5 of what remains for dinner. What fraction of the original pizza did Teddy eat for dinner? That's the idea. It means what? It means Teddy took 1 over 3. And نركز واحدة واحدة. We're going to start with these steps. First, Lucas divided it into 3 equal pieces. معناها 1 over 3. Himself and 2 of his friends. 1 over 3, 1 over 3, 1 over 3. It means that Teddy took 1 over 3. And then he ate 5 over 8. معناها 5 over 8 off. معناها multiply it. So it's going to be multiplied by 5 over 8. 5 over 8, like this. Okay. like this, of his piece for lunch. And a further 2/5, same idea of what remains for dinner. So I'm going to multiply it again by 2/5. 2/5. And this way will help me to find the final fraction of the pizza that Teddy ate for dinner, okay? So I'm going to multiply these and all of them are before the equal sign. هنشوف شنو؟ هنشوف النيومريتors والdenominators اللي قاعدات زي بعضهن before the equal sign. I'll find out that the 5 and the 5 are the same. هنحولهم مع بعض نقدر 1 1. تمام. Good. Now I can multiply. So I'm going to multiply 1 by 1 is going to be 1, by 2 is going to be 2. And at the end, I'm going to get a 2 here. And then 3 times 8 is going to be 24. So this one is 24. By 1 is 24. Okay. Good. So 2/24. So I can divide these two by 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2 and divide this by 2. So 2 divide 2 is going to be 1. And then, sorry, 24 divide 2 is going to be 12. So the final answer will be 1/12. 1/12, okay? That's for question 9. Yes. And that's the final fraction of pizza that Teddy ate for dinner, okay? That's the idea for this question. I hope you understood it. Now let's move on to the next ones. Now, question 10 here. When we talk about question 10, these questions that has green colored numbers, it means they are at a higher level, okay? So these questions, we will try to explain them, and I will try to explain them to you. But if you have any problems with them, we will talk more about them. I don't want you to focus a lot on them because they don't bring them a lot, but they are good to understand or to see if you do understand the lesson, okay? Now let's start. Mostly at the end of the lessons, of each lesson, you'll find some questions that has green colors like this, okay? Now let's take a look. Question 10. In a factory, 2/3, it means 2/3. لما ونحن نقرأ في الquestion نكتبهم. Okay? This is the way of explaining questions. كل ما نقرأ fraction نكتبها. So 2/3 of the floor area is taken up by the production line. Out of the remaining floor area, 3/5 is taken up by the office space. Out of the remaining. So the factory 2/3 are taken by the production line, but then out of the remaining, come remaining, what's remaining from this? The remaining is 1/3. How do I know what's remaining? I subtract it from 1. So 1 minus 2/3. Let's see. Give me a second. Yes. So it's going to be 1/3 equals 1/3. I'll focus on this because this is very important. That's the remaining. So 2/3 are taken by the production line, and then the remaining is 1/3. Out of the remaining floor area, 3/5. 3/5, it means 3/5. So I'm going to write 3/5. 3/5 are what? 3/5 كان لدينا is taken up by office space. تمام? By office space. The rest is warehouse space. والباقي warehouse space. Okay? The warehouse space occupies 2,000 meters squared. 2,000 meters squared. Work out the floor area. Work out the floor area of the production line. Work out the floor area of the production line. Okay? That's the idea of the whole question. Okay? That's a good question. Sorry. It is a good question. Good. Okay. So كما قلنا ان 2/3 is taken by the production line, And out of the remaining floor area اللي هي 1 over 3 كيف ما قلنا, the ones taken are 3/5 for the warehouse space. For the warehouse space. The rest is the warehouse space. So 3/5 is taken by the office space. 3/5 of this one is taken by the office space. So I'm going to find the office space. Come. It's going to be here. A minute. It's a little, let's see. Wait a minute. Yes. Okay. So first thing, we subtracted the 2/3, which is the production line. نقصنا البرودكشن لاين من الاريا كلها اللي هي 1. قاعد عندي 1 over 3. 1/3 is what's left. And then 3/5 of that 1/3 is going to be what? Is going to be the office space, okay, which is 1 over 5. And then the rest of the warehouse space, and the rest of this area is the warehouse space. So the warehouse space occupies 2,000 meters squared. 2,000 meters squared. Work out the floor area of the production line. So at the end, we're going to work out the production line, which is the 2/3 of the whole area. So we have to find the whole area first, and then we work out the production line. So how do we find the whole area? We know that 2/3, this is the 2/3, this is the warehouse. I'm sorry, this is the production line. And then it's 2/3. And then what's left is 1 over 3. When you multiply it by 3/5 is 1 over 5. When you add these together, supposed to add these together, 1 over 5. I'll do it fast because you didn't take addition of fractions, but you have to understand the question. This and this. And then we left what? We left the warehouse. So we need to know what area is the warehouse. When we add these together, so 2 over 3, I'll make this fast, 2 over 3 plus 1 over 5. 1 over 5 equals, and then subtract it from 1. Okay, and then subtract this from 1. So I'll do it fast here. You're supposed to make the denominators the same here. So by multiplying, and then you do cross multiplying. We'll talk about this once we talk about addition fractions. So it's going to be 3 times 5 is going to be 15. Okay, sorry. This is the denominator. And then when you multiply the 5 by 2, it's going to be 10. 5 times 2 is going to be 10. 10, and here 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So 10 plus 3 is going to be 13. So here we have 13 over 15. That's the whole area taken by these two, the production line and the office area. Now we need to know the warehouse. So we subtract this from 1. It's going to be 2 over 15. 2 over 15. Okay. Over 15. After subtracting this from 1, it's going to be 2 over 15. So the 2 over 15 is what? It's the warehouse area. We know that the warehouse is 2,000. We know that it's 2,000. We need to know the whole area and then multiply it by 2 over 3. So this is the area of the warehouse. We know it's 2,000. So now to know the whole area, we're going to, wait a minute. Yes. Okay, now after we found out the fraction of the warehouse, which is 2 over 15, by subtracting this fraction by 1, we try to find the whole area by following this formula. We will call it A, which is the whole area. When you multiply it by this fraction, which is 2 over 15, 2 over 15, you'll get the area of the warehouse, which is 2,000. So this one will equal 2,000, okay? Now, we want to know what's the whole area. So we're going to take this fraction to the other side because it's multiplied. We're going to take it to the other side by dividing. Or you can depend on having this multiplied, and then you take this by multiplying and then the 2 by dividing. Up to you. But when I talk about fractions, when we use fractions, it's better for me to take the whole fraction by dividing and do it with the calculator. So I'm going to take the whole fraction like this by dividing. So it's going to be 2000 divide 2 over 5. You can do this with the calculator. It's okay. So it's going to be divide 2 over 15. I'm sorry. 15 like this. So once you get this with the calculator, A will equal what? Or the final, or the whole area will equal 15,000. Okay. Of course, you did this. I did this with the calculator. So the final answer is A equals 15,000. A equals 15,000 meters squared. A is the whole area. And the question wants the production line only. So I know that the production line is 2/3. The production line is 2/3. So I'm going to take this and multiply it by 2/3. So I'm going to take the 15,000, 2, 3, multiplied by 2/3, which is 2 over 3. 2 over 3, like this. And I will get the area of the production line. So when I do it with a calculator, it's going to be 10,000 meters squared. Okay. That's the idea for this question. It's a little bit tricky, long one, and it needs a lot of focus. And this is the final answer for question 10. I hope you understood the idea. That's it for this question. Now let's move on and see other questions. Okay. Now, this is the final question for this lesson, and then we're going to talk about dividing fractions. Now, with dividing fractions, it's the same idea. I'm going to use the same rules of multiplying because I'm going to turn dividing into multiplying, because dividing is not easy to handle. We turn dividing into multiplying. That's the idea. يبقى نحن على سبيل المultiplying اسهل من الديفايدنج، فنحن نحوله في الديفايدنج الى multiplying برول معينه تنحكوا عليها. تمام. Now this one, yes we'll talk about that. Let's talk about this rule. شنو تقول الرول هذه؟ الرول هذه تقول keep change flip. What does it mean? It means, I'll show you. I don't want to confuse with these. I'll do it with one of the questions here. Yes. The rule says keep change flip. خلينا نكتب الرول هنا. Let me first cover these, because this rule is going to help you with all the dividing questions. The rule says keep, let's make it big, keep change flip. Okay. Keep change flip. Keep what? Change what? Flip what? Okay. That's what you need to know. Now, if you have two fractions, it means you're going to keep the first one. And by keeping means write it as it is, like this. And then change the sign into multiplying. And then flip the last fraction. So the first fraction, we're going to keep it. So it's going to be the same, 3 over 4. يبقى الأول حنخليه كيف ما هو. تمام. That's why we said keep. And then we turn the dividing into multiplying. That's why we said change. So keep, change this, and flip the last fraction. So we flip this, 7 over 8 is going to be 8 over 7. 8 over 7. You studied this rule last year, which you studied this in the reciprocals lesson, in which you flip the last fraction to answer the dividing questions. تو بعد ما درنا keep change flip، شنو حندير؟ راح نضرب بالنيومريتورز بعضا، هيطلع هذا 24 and then we multiply the denominators اللي هي 4 times 7 is going to be 28. Okay, so it's going to be 24 over 28. And then you're going to start simplifying by dividing by 2, for example. Or dividing, you can divide by 4. I'm sorry, divide by 2 first. Divide by 2 is going to be 12. Sorry, do it like this. Divide 2, divide 2. And it's going to be 12. And this one's going to be 14. And then we're going to divide by 2 again. Divide by 2 here. Okay. This one is going to be 6. And this one is going to be 7. So this is the idea of answering dividing fractions. So as long as they are fractions like these, ماهنش mixed numbers ولا they're not mixed numbers or whole numbers. لو كان mixed numbers معناه نحولها إلى improper fraction, and then we start doing the same rule, which is keep, change, flip. I keep the first fraction, change the sign, the dividing into multiplying, and then flip the last fraction, and then I follow the multiplying rules and I simplify the fraction as much as possible. And that's it for this question. I hope you understood the idea. All of them have the same idea. Let's check if we have different questions here. Let's see. Let's zoom back. Yes. Here, same idea, same idea, same idea. لكن كده ما قلنا whole number معناها تحت حيكون شنو؟ حيكون 1. Yes. Whole number حيكون تحت 1. Same idea, and then I follow the keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip ضروري بالترتيب. يعني keep, change this into multiplying, flip the fraction after the sign. That's the idea, okay? Keep, change, flip. Same idea here. I'll put 1 under it, and I'll turn this into improper, and then I continue my work. Same idea. That's this one. Same idea, okay? هذا بالنسبة شنو؟ بالنسبة ل dividing fractions, they have the same steps, same ideas, and this is the rest of the questions. Let's see. These are word problems. Let's see. This one is before adding and subtracting. Let's try to finish this here. Start here. Mia cuts up a piece of wood 4/2 meter long into pieces measuring 3/4 meters long. How many pieces are there? So same idea, but word problems. This one is exercise 3, question 9. Okay, question 9. Now, she cuts up a piece of wood, which is 4.5 meters long, into pieces measuring 3/4 meters long. Now, it means what? It means you're going to take this and he cuts it. It means you're dividing it. It means you're dividing it. Yes. So I'm going to divide this, divide this, and this one, I'm going to turn it into improper fraction. And then I'm going to follow the keep, change, flip steps. Okay. I'm going to keep this one after I turn it into improper, and then change dividing into multiplying, and then make this what flipped. Okay. 4/3. And then I'll get my answer. Question 10, same idea. A bottle contains 2 and 1/4 liters of water. How many glasses of volume 3/16 liter can it fill? Same idea, dividing. ما نقول له هذا divide this one. هذا نحوله إلى improper. بعدين نتبع keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. As I told you, we're not going to answer every single question. لأن they have the same steps. Try to do them by your own. If you have any problems, you can send them to me on the WhatsApp, and we will talk more about them. Okay, no problem. لكن شنو؟ ما نبيش نضيع وقت إن نحن نديروا كل سؤال وحدة, because they have the same steps, same ideas. Okay. Now, this one and this one, same idea, dividing. اللي هي same idea as this one. الفرق بيناتنا إنه word problems بس. That's the idea. Okay. Giving you answer as a fraction, same idea. هنا dividing, keep, change, flip. Same idea. هنا نحط 1. الفرق ان الهول نمبرز نحط تحتها 1. الميكس نمبرز نحولها الى improper fraction ونشتغل عادي. ندير keep, change, flip, keep, change, flip. نطلع في الاخير answer. الانسر اذا كانت proper fraction ندير لها simplifying as much as possible. لو كانت improper fraction I turn it into mixed number and I simplify it as much as possible. كلن same idea دينا. Follow the keep, change, flip rule. Okay. Hannah, we have 9, question 9. A roll of ribbon is 32. Sorry. Yes, let me do this. Yes. A roll of ribbon is 32.5 centimeters long. How many pieces? How many pieces? It means dividing. How many pieces 1/4 centimeter long can be cut from the roll? معنى نقول له 32.5 divide 1 and 1/4, 1 1/4. same idea. نحول هذا إلى improper fraction. نحول هذا إلى improper fraction. نتبع same rules. وبعدين ندير keep, change, flip. Okay. And then I find the answer and simplify as much as possible. Question 10. Dylan's cow produces 21 1/3 liters of milk per day. The milk is put into bottles with a volume of 2 and 1/3 liters. كيف ما قلنا put into bottles معناها divide. How many bottles does Dylan need each week to bottle all the milk? Same idea. نحول هذا improper. نحول هذا improper. ندير keep change flip. Keep هذا change إلى multiplying. Flip the last one and then I find the answer. And that's it for dividing fractions. يبقى dividing fractions we're going to do what? We're going to follow the keep change flip rule and then simplify the answer as much as possible. And if it's an improper fraction, make sure to turn it into a mixed number. I'm sorry. Yes, a mixed number. Yes. And make it as simple as possible. Okay. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. We're gonna continue the other lessons from this lesson. Okay.